Yo guys, Moxsy here with IGN, and today we're going to be going over the top 10 must-have pals in Palworld. This list might get a little bit more than 10 because there's a few pal pairings that are really worth having together. A few things to talk about. One, this is going to be a top 10 list that does not include any of the legendary pals or pals that you find at the very, very end of the game. All of these pals you should be able to acquire around mid-game, either through catching or breeding. And we're going to be talking about some of the best pals that you just need to have for damage, like highest damage pals, as well as like good ones to have on your base for breeding, for different things. Basically 10 pals that I couldn't live without. I rolled credits last night on Palworld, had an absolute blast, and these are the ones that just like really helped me massively with our playthrough. All right, so cheating a little bit on this first one, but we're going to talk about the best breeding pals, and it kind of actually is a combination of three. So top 10 with 3 in one spot. But breeding is unbelievably important. Breeding allows you to get basically perfect passives on your pals, and also get crazy pals from mutations, which allow you to get like random super high stat pals. It is one of the fastest ways to make tons of progression in this game is getting good pals. The best way to get good pals is from breeding. And in order to massively improve your efficiency of breeding, you're going to want 3 pals. The first is Broncherry Aqua. I have one that is condensed. If you don't know what condensing pals are, basically, anytime that you have a excess of pals, you can actually infuse the excess ones into your main pal to not only increase its like work stat. So notice though this Broncherry Aqua has 8 watering, and it's rank 3. If we look at a Broncherry Aqua that is currently on the base, this one only has 5 watering and gets +3 per star. So that would go from a 5 rank to a 9 rank through condensing. So even if you don't have like some of these super high endgame pals to work on your base, if you condense them, they'll become way more efficient. But the first of our 3 breeding types is Broncherry Aqua. If we grab our main one, Broncherry Aqua, while in your party, pal eggs you pick up have a 51% chance of becoming an alpha pal egg. Alpha pal eggs are pretty important. We'll talk about that in a second. But note that a lot of these you actually do need to make the saddle for. The can be ridden, and then while in your party means that you do need to own the saddle for this to get the passive effect. The next breeding pal is Grintale. This reads that while in your party, picking up a pal egg has a 50% chance of receiving 1 extra. So you just 1.5x your egg efficiency. I don't have mine condensed yet. I actually do need to do that. But this goes up with party condensation. So you're like basically double your like egg counts, which is kind of insane. And then our last breeding kind of combo is going to be Braloha. This reads, can be ridden while in your base, increase the egg production speed of pals assigned to breeding farms by 50%. This is insane because, once again, 50% faster egg production. And if you can get one with the babysitter perk, while at base increases egg production speed by 30% and incubation speed by 30%. So all of a sudden, you have a 80% increased speed in your base, which is kind of nuts. Our next pals will also be a pal combo just because you want both of them together. And that is going to be Sekhmet and Anubis. Now, you're going to want a alpha Sekhmet condensed up to 4 times. For some reason, if you get Sekhmet, who as an alpha pal, its passive changes from increasing Anubis's work speed from like I forget the initial value. It's like, I think it's just like 40%. But this now reads, while at base, boosts Anubis work speed by 40%, and it increases its efficiency by 400% if Sekhmet is also working at a workbench. Meaning if you have Sekhmet and Anubis working at the same bench together, their efficiency increases by 400%. So I want you to look at this real quick. So we just threw Sekhmet at that bench with a bunch of Anubises, and now if we check the pal backs, Sekhmet's work speed goes up to 873. That is insane. It's a 500% passive skill increase other work speed. Just to give you an idea of how insane 800 work speed is, all of the Anubises by default, even with Artisan, that gives them like 50% increased work speed, are around like 180 to like 200. Our Sekhmet was over 800 work speed there for a second. So whenever they're working together, Sekhmet just absolutely goes ballistic and will basically instacraft anything for you. So get those together and make sure that the Sekhmet is an alpha that is condensed 4 times. Our next pal I just always have in my party. Now, this pal is from an endgame area. However, you can do a breeding tree to get it relatively early, somewhere around mid-game, and this pal just never leaves my party ever. This is Selene. While Selene is in our party, we get 80% increased damage. If all of the pals are different species, so, you know, you just don't want to rock like 7 of the same pal or multiple of the same pal. But 80% increased damage is crazy. I personally rock mine with idiosyncratic as well. So we get 50% increased auto health regen, which is really, really nice. And I also grabbed Vanguard for another 10% increased damage. 90% increased damage for me is really, really sweet. Now, to get Selene, it's a bit more complicated. So this is a breeding tree to get Selene. I was kind of using this website wrong, but now I figured it out. But this allows you to get Selene through pals that you can all catch early through a combination of breeds. So Selene is what we're going to be after. We're going to be making it with a Jormuntide Ignis and a Flarical. To get Flarical, we're going to be breeding a Univolt with a Jormuntide Ignis. To get a Univolt Christ, we're going to get Univolt, which you can get at like level 30. Frostbloom, I don't have one yet, but you can get a Hell Zephyr and a Jormuntide very, very easily. These both have like dedicated spawn locations. And then to make the Jormuntide Ignis, we're going to use a Jormuntide and a Blaze Howl. Both of these also have very easy early spawn locations. And so that allows you to get a Selene very early. Cool thing about Selene, once again, is unlike other pals that are high level and in endgame areas, you don't need to have a saddle to benefit from this. She just needs to be in your party, meaning that you can take advantage of her passive super early on. The next most valuable pal on this list is going to be flying mounts. Now, I do want to talk about my favorite flying mount, but I do want you to understand something real quick. This is Pal DB. This has all of these are currently sorted by ride sprint speed. So the fastest mount in the game is Jet Dragon, and then you can kind of go down. We can also see what their max stamina is, as well as their jump velocity and also their run speed, so how fast they are when they're just moving around. And there's some standouts here in terms of how fast they are and how early you can get them. So Beacon, you can get very, very early, is quite fast and has good stamina. Ragnarok is also very, very solid, quite fast, decent stamina. Quivern and Shadowbeak are also pretty big standouts in terms of Shadowbeak having 1,600% movement speed. You can get Shadowbeak at like level 50. Quivern, you can get like level 40, I want to say. But the most important thing, the thing that is going to make you come back to using a mount or a flying mount or even an on-the-ground mount is going to be their passives. If they're all like relatively close to each other in terms of their base movement speed, but getting perks like Runner for 20% increased movement speed, Swift for 30% increased movement speed, even if you don't have the fastest pal that you can have at the time, if you've got a 50% increased movement speed on them, they're going to feel way better. Same things with Infinite Stamina, which give your flying mounts 50% increased stamina, and Eternal Engine, they give you another 75% increased stamina. These kind of passives are going to make a bigger difference in what mount you enjoy using the most versus what one has the slightly higher base movement speed. So in terms of like how fast they are for their levels, I do think Beacon, Quivern, and Shadowbeak definitely stand out as some winners to catch in the mid game. My favorite is Eidrelon. Eidrelon is ridiculously fast. You can get saddles for him a little bit earlier than some of the fastest pals in the game. He is not the fastest, but he is ridiculously speedy, especially if you can get some good passives. If you do want to get yourself an Eidrelon and aren't towards the end of the game, here is a breeding tree for it. You're going to want a Wumbo and a Pyrdon. Pyrdon and Elgrove can both be found on Sanctuary Islands, and then you're going to breed those to get an Elgrove Crest with the Jormuntide Ignis, which we showed for breeding tree earlier. That will give you an Eidolon. The next few pals on our list are going to be like for pure damage, or the highest damage pals. I'm going to try to recommend some for a few different elements. So for water, the highest damage pal, this is ranking in the top 30 highest damage pals in the game, and you can get it relatively early. The other like in the 30s are like legendaries and raid bosses. And so the fact that you can get this guy so early is kind of insane. Just to give you an idea of how strong this pal is, this is my level 67 Ganglar. He's got 2.4k8 attack damage. My Ophidia has less than half of that. My Selene has about half of that. My Yakumo has about half of that. And my Eidolon has about half of that. It's just ridiculous how much damage that this guy does. He gets some of the not the strongest water moves, but some really strong water moves. And you can use him on water. His movement speed increases by 5% for each other dark or water pal in your party. But this is Ganglar. Really, really high damage pal. His downside is he does have relatively low survivability, so his defense and his health are usually not the greatest, but he does make up for that in damage. If you want to just one-shot a ton of stuff, he is definitely one to have. Our next pal in our top 10 is going to be Knocklem or Knocklem Ignis. Both are really great. Knocklems are going to be a little bit easier to get, and once again, I'll show you how to get these all at the end of the video. But Knocklems come with the partner skill Iron Guardian. When condensed, this reads that a Steel Resolve increases Knocklem's Ignis' attack by 210% and defense by 210%. You can see that mine already has like a ton of attack and defense. And this stays active for a very, very long time. Not in a great place to show it off, but I'll activate it here. So he activated his rage, and you can kind of see how slowly this drains. It's like still at around like I'd say about 80% now, but it lasts a really long time. And most times that you are fighting something, this thing having 210% increased damage, by the time that it is like gonna be run out, you've most likely finished or killed whatever you needed to kill, and it's really hard for it to die during this time because it also has so much defense. So that is Knocklem. Really, really powerful. One of the best like offensive plus defensive pals that you can get, and its partner skill is really powerful. Our next pal is going to be Jormuntide Ignis. Now, not only does Jormuntide Ignis have some of the best stats of any pals in the game in terms of defense, attack, all those things, but they also have, at least until you get to like some of the more endgame areas, some of the absolute best or the highest kindling stat, meaning that they are very, very good for base pals. We are usually using ours with Artisan for extra work speed, and you're going to be smelting so many ores late into the game that having a pal that does it very, very quickly is great. So Jormuntides are not only good for smelting, but they are also very good for party pals for damage. And something that I've learned from doing a lot of breeding is they're also used in a ton of breed chains. For example, I was thinking about including Ophidia on this list, and a lot of high pals that you can't catch until later do require a Jormuntide Ignis, so they're just very, very good to have for like a ton of reasons, and breeding is a big one of them. And so kind of really useful for a ton of aspects of this game. Our next top 10 pal is going to be Lyleen. Now, Lyleen isn't new, but she is still incredible. She is one of the most well-rounded pals in terms of her health, defense, and attack, and also one of the highest grass attackers in the entire game. And she also comes with a ridiculous passive, our partner skill, Harvest Gods. When activated, the Queen's Soothing Grace restores the health of the player and party pals by 80%. I don't have mine leveled up yet, but you just get a massive heal if you're ever low. She's pretty invaluable for like boss fights and tower bosses and raids and anything that you could potentially get low on. She just can absolutely heal you and your team. It's a total game changer. So definitely up there with one of the most must-haves. Our next pal to mention, and this one, don't really use it for anything other than its passive. Personally, it does have decent stats, but that's going to be Omascul. Omascul, if we grab one, while Omascul is in your party, just passively being there, don't need to build any saddle, your party pals will gain 40% increased XP, which obviously you can condense to get even higher. A lot of the times after you breed a pal, they're going to be level 1. You're going to want to level them up to use them in your party and use them effectively. Just grab an Omascul, put it in your party, and then go out and kill bosses or capture pals. They will level up significantly faster. Just a super huge quality of life pal to always have. And coming at our number 1 spot is Yakumo. Now, this pal, genuinely, as soon as I got one, never left my party ever. They are, in my opinion, the most valuable pal for any playthrough. You're going to want one as soon as you possibly can get one, and that is because of their partner skill. Yakumo's partner skill, Birds of a Feather, reads that while fighting together, you have a percent chance, increased chance of encountering pals with the same passive skills as this pal. So what you can do, because breeding is a little bit difficult to get exactly what you want on pals, especially if you don't have a pal with that. So, for example, if you wanted to get a Anubis with Artisan to make it work faster, or you wanted to get a Eidrolon with Swift because you wanted it to move faster, getting these on a breeding combo from a combo that doesn't have them is very RNG and very difficult. However, whenever you are with Yakumo, anytime that you capture a pal while Yakumo is out, that pal has a chance of getting the same passives as Yakumo. So right now, this Yakumo that I've got on has Demon God, Twin-Edged Holy Blade, Serenity, and Musclehead. This is 30% increased attack. This is 30% increased attack. This is 10% attack, 30% cooldown, and this is 50% increased attack. And any pal that I catch while my Yakumo is out has a chance of copying these passives. Now, it's not always all of them. A lot of the times it's 2 of them, 1 of them. Sometimes it's 3. Sometimes it's 4. But you can catch a few of pals with him out and then breed those pals together, and then you'll have your perfect pal super fast. Just an example. We'll see if we get lucky on any of these Celeres. That one had Ferocious, so that one grabbed one of my passives. That one, we didn't get lucky, didn't get the proc. Let's try one more. But you kind of get the point. That one got Demon God Ferocious. So I now have a Celeray that has 50% increased damage. And if I wanted to get another Celeray, I could get another one and try to get the other passives, breed them together, and then boom, I've got a perfect damage pal without having to wait hours and hours of breeding. It's just so fast and so easy. And he becomes the absolute most valuable pal you will ever need. And you can get the really cool thing about Yakumo is his breeding chains are ridiculous. Like, most pals breed into him. So if you find any pal with any good passive, you can usually breed them into a Yakumo so that you can, there we got a Demon God Musclehead Celeray. So that one has 60% increased damage. That Celeray. You get the idea. But because you can pass this on to any pal, instead of trying to find a really fast movement speed pal out in the wild, you just breed a really fast movement speed Yakumo and then use that to catch pals. He is the best pal in the game, in my opinion. He is the most valuable pal, and you're going to want a ton of them with different traits so that you can get good working pals, good breeding pals, good anything pals, because he's just so helpful in getting those god roll pals as fast as possible. Guys, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. For all other Palworld information, guides, tips, and updates, keep it here at IGN.